You can ask her anything. Now it's time to bring your visit to a close. You know you can come back to her anytime you like. Thank her for her kindness, her warmth. And as you leave, really try to take in every detail about her. The sparkle in her eye, the lines on her face, the kindness in her smile. She walks you to the door to say farewell. You might give her a hug, squeeze her hand. And as you walk back out into your ideal place, observe the surroundings. And pause for a moment. And as we come out of this meditation, I'd like everyone to take a minute and journal what those questions were and what you heard from her. And I'll repeat them back. So you can open your eyes and grab your journal. And if anything came up for you when you asked, what do you remember most about the last 5 years? And again, we'll just take about 30 seconds per question. The second one, which is the meaty one, what do you need to manifest now to get to where she is? What do you need to manifest now to get to where she is? And the last question, what will help you live your truth? What came up for you when you asked, what will help you live your truth? All right. So now that we have those ideas down on paper, that's the beginning of manifestation, Lisa would say. And let's get into it, our last manifestation series. Lisa, it's all you.
Oh, beautiful. That was great. It really surprised me too, what came up for me. So that was wonderful. Someone asked me during the week, do I need to just be working on one thing, or can I be working on all different kinds of things? And my answer is, and in my practice, trust your inner wise woman. Remember that the first week we really got in touch with your inner wisdom. You can never go wrong if you expand your practice of listening to that inner awareness, that inner voice, right? And so I sort of played with someone and I said, we'll work on one thing on Monday, another thing on Tuesday, another thing on Wednesday, right? Why not? We have all these different facets of our life. We have all these different areas of our life that we want to live more fully. So it's a game, right? You guys, this is not rocket science. This is a game. It is a beautiful mindset game. Why do we do it? Because one, it feels really good. And when you manifest something out of the blue, it is very exciting. And we have a choice. We have a choice about how we want to think and feel. I know sometimes it doesn't feel like you have a choice, but you really have a choice. And when you start to harness your power around, I am 100% responsible for my thoughts, and I am powerful beyond my own imagination. And so why not learn how to engage your mind and your writing powerfully? I got a text this morning from this beautiful little video of this person writing like 50 I ams. And she filmed the whole thing, and then I got to see it. We should maybe send it out too, because it's inspiring. So let's dive right in to the chat. And I want you to celebrate yourself. If anything happened out of the blue, put it in the chat. If you had a success, if you feel really good about something that you did, or a way of thinking that you shifted, put it in the chat, because I know myself, when I'm on group calls like this, I go through the chat for inspiration, right? So the deeper you go, the deeper the group gets to go. And the more you share, it gives people permission to be vulnerable and courageous and share. Okay, so tonight we are going to try to use the breakout rooms, because it just works. It's so good. And we're a smaller group, so we can spend more time. I really like that. And what I want you to do in the breakout room is share what you are focused on manifesting, okay? And then maybe Alyssa can write these notes down, or I can even. What you are committed to manifesting, what worked well this week in your life, what was challenging for you in your life, and what did you notice that you manifested out of the blue. I have a sweet manifesting story to tell you. A very good friend of mine is a wonderful yoga teacher in another state. And she had been talking to me about, I really want to manifest someone with a drone to film her classes and use the drone footage in marketing. So she called all these people, and they're like, you know, $250, $300, $500. And her daughter's getting married. So it was like, no, I want my money to go to the wedding. I just want to manifest a drone camera. And so she went early to the park to start to set up. And there was a woman who parked right next to her, and she had this suitcase. And my friend was like, no, that cannot be a drone. And the woman saw that my friend was setting up for the yoga class, and she said, oh, I was going to practice my drone camera right here. Would it bother you if I filmed your yoga class? And my friend's like, that's how this works. Out of the blue, that fast, just start writing it down. Okay, so the questions are, what are you committed to manifesting? What worked well in your life this week? What was challenging? And if you manifested anything out of the blue, like with Catherine, like that was just kind of like poof, she was working on it, and that's what we're talking about, right? It's not rocket science, it's play. Okay, so when you get into the chat, when you get into the breakout room, you're going to, the first person in is the timer, and the first person in is the leader. And there are going to be 4 people per room. Yep, that'll work. 4 times that, my math. Yep, 4 people in each room, and each person gets a minute and a half. Okay, so we'll be about 6 minutes in the breakout room. And if you have any questions, lean in. I think we can even travel into the breakout rooms, but we're still figuring that part out. So Liz, are you ready?
Yes, I'm trying to get everyone to go in. Just give me one moment. Sorry, everybody. You know what, Lisa? It's not allowing me to put them in breakout rooms today. Now,
You know what?
I know we just tested it.
Yeah.
We just
I'm sorry. We just tested it.
I forgot to manifest a breakout room.
That's right.
This part.
So what I want us to do is just shift a little bit. We're going to use the chat and be in the nest together. So take a minute to journal about these questions. What you're committed to manifesting, what worked well in your life, what felt a little challenging, and what did you manifest out of the blue? Okay, so take about same time. I'm gonna give you like 5 minutes to journal and I'll time it. I think it's better that we stay in the nest together and use the chat, so that's fine. Okay, on your mark, get set, grow. And then I'm going to read through the chat and see if I can help anybody out. Wonderful. Yeah, that's great. So put in the chat anything you want to add that you're manifesting, anything that you heard your inner wise woman or man share with you this week. Use the chat to help inspire one another. Who would like to share? Anything. Share anything about their successes of the week, or even a challenge.
I can share one thing.
Great.
So it's not like one specific example, but I was having like all these fears or just like a little different mindset than I typically have. And it was only after journaling, Alyssa prompted me on a couple of different journal prompts, and I finally sat down and did it. And it wasn't until I journaled I realized that all of my thoughts lately were based out of fear and not love. So when I make decisions out of love, which is my typical go-to, or like abundance, like anything's possible, you know, that's like where I operate normally. But I realized I shifted into this making decisions out of fear and like saying safe. And that's not my typical. And I didn't realize that. And it wasn't until I realized that I was able to let it go and then move back into being able to decide what would be the best, like out of love and abundance. But I wouldn't have known that unless I journaled and got quiet.
Yeah, and you're our teacher in that, right? In being able to get quiet, and you drop in very quickly and easily, and a lot of people don't do that. I had a funny conversation with someone. I'm like, don't turn to meditation if you're feeling super anxious. But actually that was not good wisdom, because if you have a solid foundational practice of meditation, turn to it. It will ground you. But don't beat yourself up if that isn't your go-to, right? But Alicia, that is beautiful for you, because you drop in very quickly, right? And your awareness also helped you get back on track, right? So last week we talked a lot about expanding your awareness about what you hear your monkey mind say, or what you hear your inner bully say, and question your inner bully. So here's the trick with inner bully. The inner bully is around because it's trying to convince us that we're safe. I'm going to say it again. Our inner bully is around because it's trying to convince us that we're safe. So what I always say is acknowledge your inner bully, acknowledge the voice, acknowledge the put down or the fear or the anxiety, and then really usher it out the door. Like, this does not work for me right now. I got this. I don't need your old way of thinking. And journaling, like I've said every single week, writing is such a powerful tool in your toolbox, because it has your thoughts and feelings kind of circle you into a vacuum. That's why I encourage you with your manifesting practice every morning. Attach your manifesting practice. Okay, I say every morning, forgive me, because I do it every morning, but do it whenever you want to do it. But attach it to a habit that you already have in place. Attach manifesting to a habit you already have in place. Right? Because manifesting is a process where you use your mind to have you believe that something's already happening. So does anyone have a question for me where they felt challenged in this way during this series? Like, I can do that, but here's where I came up against myself. Because I know the challenge is out there, because I've talked to a lot of you, which has been incredible. It's been wonderful. Anyone facing a challenge that they want to share with the group around manifesting and what's getting in their way in their practice?
I can
Don't
share.
make me call on you. Yay, Siobhan.
I wrote in the chat, so I can
Oh, good.
Something that I've been struggling with is like looking internally as I'm trying to manifest instead of like looking outward for
Approval.
other people to give me approval. Yeah, that.
Can you even be more specific? Like, can you tell us what you're working on if you're comfortable?
Yeah, sure. So right now I'm really considering just something simple like moving apartments.
Yeah.
And it's not even a huge move. It's like between staying in the city or moving to the East Bay. And I'm struggling to get in touch with what I want instead of looking to so many people who I know and love, like, well, what do they think?
Great. Okay, so can I guide you in? So what you are actually manifesting is clarity to hear your inner wisdom.
Yeah.
Right? And so do you remember last week we did that wonderful exercise, the I ams? That's affirming who you know yourself to be, even when no one's around or no one's looking or no one hears you or no one sees you. And so the more you affirm who you know yourself to be, your inner wisdom is also going to expand.
That makes sense.
And that's, I mean, hearing our inner wisdom, wow, that takes time. I'm in my 50s, right? I know that takes time. I know the dance that I've taken. And that's why Greyback is so powerful, because Greyback's giving you guys tools to hear that inner wisdom earlier in your lives through classes like this and all their programs that they do. So anytime you can circle up with other people who have and share conscious thinking, go for it. Even if it's on Zoom and you're burnt out on Zoom. I mean, this doesn't feel like Zoom. It feels like a nest. Because you've got a cup of tea, you've got your essential oils, you've got, right? So that's a mindset too. How's that for marketing for Zoom? Zoom is a mindset. Okay, so where I want to go now is I want to help you all with an envisioning tool. Okay, you ready? Everyone have a blank piece of paper? Try and grab really a blank piece of paper would be ideal. And if you're like, oh shoot, I'm typing on my laptop, that's okay, you'll figure it out. Or, yeah, just go for it. Go for it. Do it however you want. But I am a visual teacher and learner, so. Oh, this is beautiful. Allison just wrote, a phrase that came up for me this morning was, I trust my life, I trust where it leads me. Thank you for gifting that to Siobhan. Can you imagine if you were writing that every day, Siobhan? That's the garden you're watering, right? I trust my life, I trust where it leads me. I'm getting a little feedback, I don't know why. Okay, so here we go. Envisioning. So I want you to put the thing that you are manifesting in a circle in the center of your page. Oh, I can even share my screen. Huh. Let me see if I can get my drawing pad up and do that. Okay.
Lisa, I was going to say there's even a whiteboard if you share the screen instead of opening up another application. If you go to share screen.
Yes, I so appreciate that. But I know how to draw better on my app than I do on the whiteboard, but I am
No
going
problem.
to. Okay. Who wants to be my guinea pig? Who wants to be my coaching candidate?
You can use the thumbs up button if you want, or any of the emojis that are on Zoom.
Beautiful, Heather.
There we go.
Heather, will you unmute? Okay, and then here I come. I'm getting to share my screen. Here we go. Oh, host disabled attendee screen sharing. Maybe it can come back on, but it doesn't matter. Okay, Heather, what are you manifesting? What's in the center of your circle?
My health and wellness.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so health and wellness is a personal process. And so just share what you're comfortable with and then leave the rest off. But so now around Heather's circle, she's going to have all these, branches off of it. And I want you to put in all of your branches off of your main circle, what needs to show up that lets you know you're manifesting health and wellness. So as Heather does that, I want everyone else to do that. So like, if I'm manifesting that I want a kick-ass bachelorette party, right? Because that means I'm getting married. I'm already married, I'm just pretending, right? Then what I'm gonna see around my bachelorette party is that I'm going to see me going on lots of dates. I'm going to see me on sites that I believe in. It's going to see me, all my emails to friends saying, I'm available to meet a fabulous partner, and I'm leaning on my community to introduce me to cool people that you know. I'm also going to see all my manifesting love notes every morning when I have my coffee. Do you guys get it? That's the evidence. I want you to put the evidence around your circle that's an indicator that you are manifesting what you say you want to manifest, which is in the center of your page. Okay, and then when Heather finishes putting her evidence up, we'll talk about it. And don't worry if you think, I don't know how to do this. I can't get it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to teach you. We're beginners at this. Some of us are beginners. Some of us have a solid practice. But this is the envisioning piece that really helps solidify it. This is your manifesting love map, I call it, right? And hang it up. So you look at it 753 times a day. Okay, Heather, go for it, my sweet.
Okay, so in my health wellness, I'm meditating.
Great.
I am walking. I'm taking time to rest and do nothing, which is a really important piece. I'm living every day focused on self-love. I'm naturally getting in better shape, and I say naturally because instead of beating myself up, it's more of a, I guess, self-loving way of going about it. I'm experimenting with new recipes. I'm journaling.
Whoa, you are badass here. You're not driven at all. You guys don't know about Heather. Find her. She's up to cool stuff. Okay, so that's good. Okay, you've got a whole big map. Now, let's pick one of these that is really challenging for you.
I think the taking time to rest and do nothing is really hard.
Take time and rest and do nothing.
Yeah, and I guess when I say do nothing, it's just leaving me the space to not be planning, organizing, blah, blah, blah.
Great. Okay, so now on a new piece of paper, in the center of your circle, you're going to have take time off. What did you say? Take time off and rest or something.
Yeah, take time to rest.
No, I'm not a big rester either. What?
Yeah.
Okay, time off and rest. Right? And then again, she's going to do the process again, which is, what is the evidence that Heather has that she's taking time off? And this is her manifesting map. So then she's going to turn it into, I am taking time off. Right? Her big umbrella, I am making health and wellness a key component of my life. That may be her Monday manifesting. Then Tuesday may be, I am taking time off and resting. And then underneath, you know, her evidence around that is what's going to support that she knows she's successful at that. Now, let's say Heather really is super driven and does not like to take time off. Let's just pretend, okay? But she wants to grow into being able to take time off. So in her manifesting work, she's going to be, I am resting. I am shutting my computer at 5 o'clock. Does she have to do that every single day? No, this is brand new for Heather. We're pretending, right? This is brand new for her. So anytime you're going to have a mindset shift, you need to have practice, right? I know there are some super powerful athletes on this call. How did they get that way? Practice. In my manifesting log every single day is, I am cardiovascularly strengthening. Guys, let's get real. If anybody flew over my life in a hot air balloon, they would not think that was my manifestation practice. They wouldn't, right? Because I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. I'm trying to grow that part of my life. And I use manifesting and action. You can't just use manifesting. I mean, you can, but your life, your default future will probably look the same the next time we all gather. Does anyone have any questions? Is this making sense? Is this making sense?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Saying, like, you know, we made our little main circle, and then so every little sub bubble you're telling us, like, wrap that sub bubble and start it into a new white paper and then kind of keep expanding it.
Yes, if you want, because remember my question to Heather was, which one of these are super challenging? Mm-hmm. So it may be her walking, like she already has her walking buddy. And so she's already walking every single day. But that's part of her health and wellness. Like she wants to show up with evidence in the world that this is happening. Because if not, the gremlins will take over and the inner bully will take over, and the habitual way that we talk to ourselves and the habitual things that we say to ourselves will rule the roost.
So you're saying can we do like sub bubbles for each of them, even though if they're not challenging?
You can do whatever. The good news is you can do whatever you want. Do what works for you. Okay. I'm teaching you about envisioning. And it ties beautifully into what Alicia did in our manifesting meditation. In the opening meditation. Well, it is a manifesting meditation because it's a future version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So imagine if Heather kept working on this and then she had accountability and she had a manifesting circle to be in. It changes. It's different than if we're just by ourselves trying to do it. Trust me, I know, cardiovascularly. Let me just read what somebody said. It's interesting. A lot of people in my professional sees me as driven, and I don't feel that way. I struggle with goal setting and follow through, but practicing manifestation really helps me lean to the belief that my goals are already in progress. Beautiful. Arcana, this is beautiful. Yes, this is beautiful. That is beautiful. You should read Arcana's chat. Anyone else want to have a moment to share their circle and their evidence?
I think Arcana did want to share. Are you able to unmute yourself, Arcana?
I am. It's Archna.
Archna, thank you.
Yes.
It's Archna. Thank you for correcting me. I have a child whose name everybody gets wrong, and so I'm always correcting, and so I appreciate that. Thank you.
No worries. I think I've gotten a lot of practice in trying to make sure that people say my name correctly. So thank you for being receptive to that.
Thank you for not being silent.
Oh, I appreciate that because I do have a hard time. And it's sort of in line with what I had mentioned in the chat is like I know one of the challenges that I'm experiencing right now is trusting that, for example, like I am an associate MFT, so I'm almost done. I'm very, very close to completing my hours, but I just feel like I'm not as far as I should be.
Wait, hold on. When we should on ourselves, that's an outside rule book. Who set up the time frame that you should be going through this any faster than you are, my dear?
I think it's myself. I think it's a lot of just the comparative nature of some of my communities that I experienced growing up. It's like, oh, well, look at this person. They're moving through this really fast.
Hold on, my sweet. To compare is to despair. And if I had a magic wand and I could release every woman, including myself, from this, it would be the comparison trap. We should do a half-day retreat on that. Just tools to remind us that that is an evil way of thinking and practicing and living. And many cultures do that. And I'm sorry that you have suffered in that. So your manifesting direction, I would hope, would be, I am enough and I am accepting my pace. And please find time with me on my Calendly, and the link is going to be in there, and I can help you with the MFT track and support you around that. And that is my pleasure, because I remember that all 3,000 hours.
I appreciate that. I think for me, largely what I've been trying to manifest is trusting myself and trusting the process.
Right. What are you saying to yourself?
Essentially just that. I trust myself. I move with faith in myself and in my work. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Write them down in the chat. We all need to hear them. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, Margot, you're up.
Yes.
Okay, you so beautifully and boldly put you took a big risk, so you get coaching time. Okay.
Oh, good.
You just graduated.
Yeah.
And tell me what it is that why did you want to come to the series, and how can we support you?
Sorry, can you repeat that? The volume just went out for a second.
Yeah. Why did you come to the series, and how can we support you? What do you want from the group, or what?
I came originally because my aunt, Tracy, connected me. And I just graduated from Yale in May, and I'm trying to manifest.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I ideally want to work in New York at a fun company, and I want to work in tech combined with like fitness and wellness. So my ideal job would be at Peloton.
So what would you like to ask for the group? If anyone has a connection to Peloton?
Yeah, I guess. And then I guess any advice. I don't know exactly how to navigate looking for a job. This is my first time looking for a job.
Beautiful. So if anyone has snippets of wisdom or a willingness to meet with Margot, to have a Zoom coffee chat, like we all remember our first job, we all remember networking and those informational interviews. I happen to have a best friend who's on the board at Peloton. I think, would that help you?
Yeah, definitely.
Would that help? Okay, great. And we're all willing to share. I don't know if there's a job there, but I know she would be more than willing to help someone. We're all, it's like I said to Archana, we're all willing to help one another.
Thank you.
That's what the nest is. That's what manifesting is.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for the group that they can put into the chat to help you?
I don't think so. I'm just looking for advice, so.
Great.
And you're welcome.
Beautiful. So people can chat you privately or they'll do it publicly, and I save the chat.
And I can also put my email in.
What was that?
I'll put my email in the chat too.
You'll put your email in the chat too. Beautiful. Beautiful. So anyone who wants to reach out now, here's the thing. Let's say not one person reaches out in the chat. This goes for all of us, ladies. This coaching is directed at Margot, but it's for all of us. What will you make that mean? What will your inner bully say to you?
I don't know, probably that you should have said something differently.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just live in the world that the fact is nobody responded, and don't go into a story that has anything to do with you. That's my biggest tip for you. You're 22, 23?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. If you get this now, oh my God, you guys, can you imagine how she's going to be when she's 30 or 5 years, her future self? Don't take this stuff personally. That's a beautiful teaching for the whole group. Fact and story. We have, let's pretend that nobody responds to Margot. The fact is, no chats. Her story doesn't have to be that it has anything to do with her. Could actually, her made up story could be the chat didn't work. That would be her healthiest story. Does that make sense, Margot?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, beautiful. Thank you for taking the risk.
Thanks.
Yeah, and cut and paste your chat if you can. Resend it to me with, and I want to work at Peloton, so I can cut and paste that and send it to my friend and say, hey, look at what showed up. Are you willing to meet with this young woman?
Okay, thank you.
And I'll get back to you.
Thanks so much.
Okay, so we're coming into close to the end, and we've been doing questions and answering like we've wanted to do. But I want you to do a little more journaling before we come in for a landing, okay? And I want you to commit to a manifestation practice that will work for you. And I want you to write down in your journal, I am committing to blank. And I am willing to blank. Now, our inner bullies come out around like January 3rd every single year for all of us, right? Because we all kind of like let go of our, I don't call them, what are they? They're normally called resolutions, right? No, what are they called? New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. I call them New Year's intentions, right? Because an intention is a way of being, and you're on a path. Doesn't matter if you fall off. The work is getting back on track. So declare tonight in a very bold and beautiful way the practice that you're willing to commit to. Ignore your inner bully. And the next question is, if I fly over your house in my hot air balloon, can you guys tell I'm trying to manifest a hot air balloon in my life? If I fly over your house in my hot air balloon, what is the evidence I will see that will indicate to me that you are successfully engaged in your manifestation practice? Like we'll see Archana, you know, drinking tea on her couch, like just filling out all those terrible MFT forms peacefully, and she'll be, you know, sipping a glass of wine, not rushing.
Lisa, could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. What evidence will I see from my hot air balloon that indicates you're successful in your manifestation practice? What evidence will I see if I fly over your house that indicates you're successful? So we would see Heather on a Thursday night at 5 o'clock, like journaling. Her laptop's closed, her desk is clear. I can't even imagine that, but that's not what I'm trying to manifest. What you'll see in my house, you'll see my running shoes kind of worn down. You'll see my running, my exercise log with all these check marks on it. You'll see my rings on my Apple Watch, you know, all like circled up. Okay, on your piece of paper, write this. Down the side of your piece of paper, put a T, put an F, put an A, and put an R. In that order, down the page. T-F-A-R. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. You guys, I just manifested a running coach. Someone just chatted me up. I just already got a running coach. How's that? I'm a beginner for the running coach. I'm a real beginner. Okay. I have one more quick manifestation out of the blue success to tell you guys. I was talking to somebody and they were saying, it's a couple, and they were talking about their financial differences. And I wrote down, wouldn't it be cool if I created a program for couples to step into before they get married and help them have money conversations, right? I tell you not, the next day somebody emailed me, hey, someone thought you might be really good to help me and my fiance work out our money differences. And I was like, bingo. Okay. Oh my gosh, Margot got all these messages. This is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Thoughts, feelings, actions, results. When we have thoughts, that can trigger feelings. Remember, I tell you, don't believe your feelings, believe your values. And then create value. Don't believe your feelings, believe your values. But anyway, thoughts, feelings. It leads then to actions, which then leads to results. That's what made you all sign up. You saw Greyback's fabulous marketing. You're like, wow, that looks super cool. I really love the photo. I love them. I love everything that's going on. It opened up something in you. You took action. You signed up for the class, and then bam, your result is you've got a kick-ass manifestation practice, right? Okay. That's just a tiny teaching there. Like, oh, how do I do my manifestation practice? I remember thoughts, feelings, actions, results. So as we come into a landing, I know Alyssa's going to close us out with some juicy information about what's coming up for Greyback, and I'm here to answer more questions. And what I want to remind you, and we're sending out the final recording, and then I created a letter, and it ties nicely in with Alicia's meditation, and it's a letter about a future version of yourself. And you have successfully been manifesting, and the evidence shows up in your life, and this practice is strengthened. So I'll include that letter in the email for all of you. And when you begin to live with the future in your mind and body and heart in a positive way, don't let that fear get in the way of your joy. But when you feel the future in your mind and body and heart, that's what manifesting is. And then you write it down, and your reality is yours to create, my friends, through your everyday thoughts and attention. This daily practice is designed to have you be in energetic sync with your highest and best thinking. And I am totally available to support you. I think they're going to put the Calendly link in. Mm-hmm. You will. Thanks. And reach out. Anything I can do to help. And it's been such a pleasure to lead you all on this journey. Alyssa, I'm going to turn it back over to you to wrap up.
Thank you, Lisa. I was just like finishing all my journaling, so much to write now. So this has been such a success, and there's so many women that actually couldn't make it tonight that were on the other ones as well. So that's why we're doing the recordings. But we're actually going to do a weekend like intensive, like somewhat like a retreat. So around like a manifestation, we're going to really focus on, Lisa, keep me honest here, around love, money, relationships, finances, just really anything that you want to get a little bit more clear on, and do a deep dive with Lisa and Greyback. So anyone that has attended in any of the sessions, we're going to give you the first invite to that. So we're just working through a couple things on the dates, and then we're going to send you all a formal invite. But thank you so much for participating, being so active even on the chat, as well as everyone kind of participating on Zoom. And Greyback does social clubs every month. Actually, we had the pleasure of having Kate on tonight, and Kate's actually going to be she's a wonderful artist and yoga instructor, and she's going to be doing art therapy next month. So you'll see that in the next few weeks if you subscribe to any of our Sunday newsletters or any of our invites. You can just go to our website and sign up. We don't send you spam. So thank you again so much for being here tonight, and we'll stay on too. So if you have any other questions, I'm going to plug in Elisa's Calendly link, and we'll also send you a recap with notes from the evening. Alicia's the best note taker ever. I'm learning from her still, and and of course the recording. So thank you.
And if anyone has any questions, we're here. That's what we wanted to use the last 10 minutes for too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one thing that's cool about the virtual retreat we're going to do is not just you sitting in front of Zoom. So we're incorporating the mind, the body, the soul, just all the senses. Think like dance and breath work. And also a lot of the topics that we covered here that, you know, I've heard you guys say over the last 3 weeks of like what you're trying to manifest is really the topics. And a lot of it's around love for yourself at the beginning. So you can kind of take those actions in like a really heartfelt place, you know, like you're really strong there. So you can change whatever it is, your job, your relationships, because like you're in a good place. And so that's a lot of what Lisa focuses on. So I'm excited.
Let's start there, right? We all know that. If we don't have love for ourselves, then we lose ourselves in relationship. So that's probably, well, we'll decide where we go with that in the deep dive, but we're all so excited about it. That like, do we want to do a series? Do we want to do a half day, a full day? So we're developing it because there's such an interest. So beautiful. Anyone else have any questions specifically? And it doesn't have to be all positive. It can be like, I'm really struggling with this thing that you taught us. I don't get, you know, I'm completely available.
I did love the idea that someone had of a manifestation, like accountability buddy. So that's something that's, you know, think about that.
And that will be an offshoot of the retreat too.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly people can do it privately. I can't see any hands up. The retreat, you'll have to be on camera though. That's for sure. That's a must. Even if it's scary, it's so good to come on. It's so good. The chat's so nice. You guys are putting such lovely things in. Oh, Alicia, do you see that question? I struggle with clearing my mind and inner bully during the meditation. Is there something I can do to help with that?
One thing that comes up for me, Lucky, is whenever you're kind of like beating yourself up, like everyone, you know, has those moments. I never beat up a good friend. Like I would never talk to Erin or Alyssa or Siobhan like that. So when you start to think like that, try to almost transition yourself to be like a very good friend of yours. And so quickly your language shifts. And then as you get better with it or more practice, you can kind of come back to yourself. So like if you can think of someone that you really love and that you would never talk to like that, and then like shift it back to yourself. And the more you do that, I think you could get kinder to yourself more quicker. And I think that you would benefit from loving kindness and self-compassion meditation. So I'll include those in the recap as well. There's some like super simple ones that are good, just like 5-minute things to do throughout the day.
You know, and I would add to that, there's a
Thank
wonderful meditation that I teach people around acceptance of thoughts and feelings. Right? I say to people, treat it like the ocean, the waves, they come in and they go out, right? Don't jump on the surfboard. Your inner bully is like a surfboard. Don't jump on the surfboard. Just let the surfboard go in. I mean, let the waves go in and out, right? Don't attach to it.
Yeah, I kind of have to shake my head to get it out of because I'm not, you know, I did this with my sister, Archana, and I'm not usually this is not usually my cup of tea, but I told her I would do it and just to see what we could get out of it. And it's helping, and I really do appreciate it. You know, I really appreciate what we've been doing, and we were talking earlier today that we're both kind of sad that it's ending today. But that's everything else I can handle. It's just the meditation part at the beginning I struggle with still. And I'm like, what do I do? How do I get there?
Well, you won't be sad too long because we'll circle back up. We know people want it.
Yeah, and we appreciate it. My dad even was like, you guys can do it on your own. And that's what Urshna had recommended earlier. She goes, we can do it ourselves on Thursdays. I said, yeah, I know.
You know, Lucky, it's funny that you say, it's interesting that you say that about the meditation. Alicia and I started actually in this room 3 years ago. And we would always ask, actually, like, have you ever meditated before? Because we were debating like 5-10 minutes. And I wasn't a big meditator either. It's really hard for me to sit for that time. And now it's become more of a practice, but you're not alone in that feeling. That I would say 99, like probably 95% of people were raising their hand that they had never meditated before. And this is only 3 years ago. And of course, people have come back obviously every month, then they meditate, but that's very common too, to feel very uncomfortable in that if it's not something that you're used to doing. And for me, it was always hard to do the full silent meditation. Like hearing Alicia is like helpful. Always.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do the silent one quite yet, but it does help to hear, somebody like, imagine this, because otherwise my mind will go here, everywhere if it's completely silent.
I link it if you want to. And it's linked right there too. If you ever want to just, it's actually on our Instagram. It's like one of those permanent posts. I don't know why I put it like that. It's one of those videos that you could just play like the full thing. It's not a short one, so it has a full 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Lucky, I added my favorite is just a 5-minute self-compassion. So even if you're like doing dishes, just put it on. Just listen to it. So you don't have to be sitting. Perfect. The rumors false.
And then those will be in the email, right? But everything.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That way I can revert back to it.
All in one.
Yeah.
One package for you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you all.
It's been great.